Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the newest episode of the Frisco Report. Hope you guys enjoy the new intro. Can't do this without you guys. So shout out to everybody joining us live around the world in the chat box and catching us on the replay. Mike, what's going on, man?
What's going on, Joe? How you been, brother? Saw that music back like the curtain's about to open, and I was about to bust the move on them.
I know, man. That's what it does. It gets you in the mood, doesn't it? But
Oh,
yeah. So here we are, man. Off season mode. I got a couple of moves around the NFL. A couple of cans have happened. Still waiting on Mike Nolan. So he's still lingering. Cowboys tend to take their time with these kinds of things. So we'll see where they go here. But let's lead off with that, Mike. Off season's here. What is your thought on any coaching changes that may happen here?
Jerry Jones made a comment today that he underestimated the offseason, and that's the writing on the wall that Mike Nolan's staying. Mike McCarthy's gonna sit in that room, and he's gonna advocate for Mike Nolan. He's gonna talk him up, give him a full offseason. Jerry, you just said you underestimated the offseason, but at the end of the day, though, if we're going to be a winning football team, we got to be winning in September, October, November. The defense can't wake up in December and decide they want to get 14 takeaways and buy in to Mike Nolan. You know what I'm saying? If we're going to judge Mike Nolan off of 4 games, the December to remember, as I was calling it, you got to go back September, October, November. Why couldn't the players adapt and buy in to what Mike Nolan was selling them, Joe? That is what's so aggravating about this, because they had a really good December as a defense. Really good December. But why did it happen? How come it took this long? We could have won more games if the defense got on board. He needs to go. But with Jerry's statement today, Mike Nolan, who was handpicked by Mike McCarthy is going to be in there advocating for Mike Nolan to be on this football team. And my prediction, Joe, is he will be.
Yeah, it does kind of seem that if something was going to happen already, it probably would have happened already. You know what I mean? Like, if you were intent on, man, this is not the answer, we're going to fire this guy, it probably would have happened, this week. And there's still a couple days left in this week, but if to me, if there's nothing done this week, it ain't gonna happen. So, does this whole staff get a reprieve? It kind of feels like that. Maybe they make a little changes to some of the other areas. Like we've kind of discussed, Sean Lee. Does he retire, go into coaching? Maybe there's a spot for him somewhere. I know I'm seeing Winston Moss, former assistant to to McCarthy. I see his name kind of popping around. So maybe they bring him on here, make that change. Maybe it's him. So it'll be interesting to see what they do there with that. But, I know a lot of fans want him out of here. I do too. I just, like you said, why did we have to wait till December for this thing to get going? Like, to me, that was just like way too long for them to buy into it. You know what I mean? Like, that's just really, really long time. And like you said, if we would have had this thing rocking and rolling earlier in the season, we probably would have won some of these closer games,
Yeah, you're right. We would have won a lot of these closer games, and but they kept Dontarian Poe there way too long. They should have cut him a long time ago. They were stashing Neville Gallimore. I mean, how do you not see talent? You drafted this guy. You seen talent. Why wasn't he getting the reps sooner?
Yeah, it's a crazy thing.
There's so many self-inflicting wounds. It's like, is Jason Garrett underneath that Mike McCarthy face?
Yeah, it's like the Scooby-Doo when you take the mask off of the guy and it's Jason Garrett. That's funny, man. Shout out to everybody joining us live in the chat box. The Lunatic, longtime member, supporter of the channel. Appreciate you, bro. Go Cowboys. Sign Dak, fire Nolan. Yeah, that's where I'm at with this as well, man. Anthony Lavelle, appreciate you, bro. Fire Nolan. Get rid of Jalen Smith. Go Cowboys. So Yeah, Mike. So that is the main topic for today. Appreciate those donations, guys. Appreciate you. Is the roster? We're transitioning to this off-season mode here with the channel and the Frisco Report. So we want to kick it off with the free agencies. With the free agent that the Cowboys are going to have to figure out. Who do they want to keep? Who do they want to let walk? Typically, the Cowboys do keep some of these guys that are scheduled to leave. So it's not going to be a complete, I'm not signing any of these guys. I know some people would probably prefer that. You know what I mean? Like all these guys can go. But the fact is, historically speaking, the Cowboys have, found a way to keep some of these guys from leaving, whether that be a 1-year deal or a 2-year deal. So with that being said, everybody, we're going to take a look at the free agents that the Cowboys have scheduled here, and we're going to break down, the main players. There's some players in here that are more of camp body type players. You know what I mean? But Mike, let's take a look at this. Let's go ahead and we're gonna get this off of Spot Track, however you want to call it. All right. So we're looking at free agents, Cowboys 2021 free agents, Mike.
I'm on the same website.
And what we want to do is, let's expand this out here, full screen for right now. We're going to break it down by positions, okay? First here, Malik Turner, Mike. All right. Special team guy, I don't know. Noah Brown, though. Let's get to some of these more familiar names. Noah Brown, Mike. Gone or re-signing this guy?
I would like for the Cowboys to re-sign Noah Brown. To be honest with you, there was a little bit of similarity between CeeDee Lamb and Noah Brown, but he just didn't get as many opportunities because Cedric Wilson was beating him out in the lineup. But he lost all that weight. There was talks of him being tight end and stuff because he was a big guy. But he lost that weight. He slimmed down. He looks like a wide receiver. He made some pretty good catches up in the middle. Defensive players laying the boom on him in the middle there, but he held onto the ball. And I don't know. To keep him as your fourth or to keep him as your fifth, I say we got to keep Noah Brown. I liked it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do there with Noah Brown, and still young, 25. That's pretty good. You could get him on a 1-year deal if you want, special team. And you're right. There were some moments where he looked and ran kind of like CeeDee Lamb. We're like, oh, okay. Yeah, sometimes the broadcasters even got it wrong. We're like, oh, no, excuse me, that's Noah Brown. So, yeah, he does have more of the wide receiver build. I like how he played this year. This is probably his best season. Hopefully it wasn't because it was just a contract year for him. But I think he has a possibility of doing something for, if not the Cowboys, for somebody. So he may want to test the market out. The next one here, guys, Cedric Wilson. As you can tell here, he's a exclusive rights free agent. So basically what that means, everybody, is if the Cowboys want him, they just have to say, we want you back. That's it. So Cedric Wilson probably has another year on the roster, being that he's an exclusive rights free agent, unless the Cowboys don't want him. And if that's the case, they'll let him walk. But as an exclusive rights free agent, you just have to say, I want you back, and you're back. All right. So that's where Cedric Wilson is at. So, Mike, would you mind having Cedric Wilson back another year?
Yeah, absolutely. I liked what Cedric Wilson brought to the special teams unit. Throwing the ball around, doing a lot of the fake punt stuff, and running in the slot. I wish he would have got more opportunities, but again, that's the stubbornness of our offensive coordinator. Likes to keep things very vanilla. But if they're going to use them, special teams, and a fourth string wide receiver, something like that, definitely claim those exclusive rights because I liked our receiving core this year.
Yeah, I do too. I think they did pretty good with who they had, and the competition I think was pretty good. So Cedric Wilson, Yeah, I think he has a good spot on this team. So for me, Cedric Wilson over Noah Brown. Flip a coin for me, but Cedric Wilson probably has another year with the Cowboys. Just based off of his status here with the Cowboys. Mike, we only have one tight end who's set for free agency. That's Blake Bell, the Belldozer. Did you see enough from him to keep him around, or do we have other people, up and comers that can fill that spot and let him move on, or do you want to keep him another season or so? 30 years old.
Wow, he's 30 years old. Holy biscuits! I did not know that. He can move on. Get you a tight end, third, fourth round. Whatever it takes there to replace him. But I like he made some pretty clutch catches for Andy Dalton and Dak Prescott. Jarwin went down in the first game of the year, and these two guys' names were called, and I thought they did pretty good for the most. Dalton Schultz, it's a Pro Bowl snub in my opinion, but
Yeah.
Blake Bell, I thought I thought he did enough, but 30 years old, you got to get younger there. Dalton Schultz really proved himself, so you can develop a guy because you got Schultz and you got Jarwin there, but at the end of the day.
Yeah, I see. They went pretty deep this year with tight ends. We had Blake Bell. McEwen. He got a couple snaps during the season, so I think they feel good about him, the rookie out of Michigan. So maybe they feel comfortable enough just letting Blake Bell walk, and see you next time. So we'll see on that one. For me, I'm kind of like you, man. It's just like, if they bring him back, that's fine. If they don't, it's okay. Mm-hmm. So moving on to tackles, Cam Irving, 29 years old. What's your expectation here on him? He will be an unrestricted free agent. So what do you say about Cam Irving, Mike?
I think the guy only played like 4 games as a Cowboy. He can go. He was just taking up room and breathing up the COVID air. So he can go.
Yeah, Cam Irvin, he actually for this season he exceeded my expectations. I thought he was pretty garbage, a first round bust, and kind of bounced around the league here and there. He came from the Chiefs the year before, but when he came on, I thought he did okay. But man, he was too banged up. He just kept getting injured too easily, missed a lot of time. I think the Cowboys have done a good job in developing the swing tackles, whether that's Brandon Knight or, God forbid, Terrence Steele.
Pants.
Yeah, so I don't think they'll bring back Cam Irvin. I think that they like how they developed Brandon Knight and Steele, and I think he'll be on his way out. I don't think they'll bring him back. Greg Sonat, I feel the same there. Exclusive rights, if they want him, they just got to say the magic words, and then he'll be on the team.
Camp body.
Yeah, Camp body. This is somebody you might bring on. Camp body, exclusive rights. What do you have to lose? You know what I mean? So he might be one of those camp body guys. Here we go. This will be a great conversation here. Here we go. Xavier Woods, Mike, the safety, 26 years old, unrestricted free agent, part of that 2017 draft class. All right, that all those guys are up for free agency. What is your thoughts there on Xavier Woods? Re-sign him short term or let him go? What do you want to do with him?
Unfortunately, man, I was so high on this guy coming out of Louisiana Tech. I was wanting the Cowboys to draft him all the way up to the 3rd round, and they finally got him in the 6th. I wanted him in the 3rd. I wanted him in the 4th, and they finally got him in the 6th round. Xavier Woods, Louisiana Tech, a ball hunter over there. And the guy let me down this year. I was really expecting this guy. His lazy comments about, you want me to go hard for 70 plays, that's just not true. Like, are you serious?
Yeah.
Let this guy go. There's no heart. There's no passion. This guy really let me down, Joe.
Yeah, your words, I echo your words to the T. It's just he did himself a big disservice this season just with how he played, and then with this press conference, laughing and smiling, saying, "I'm not going to run from one side to the other side to make a tackle." When you see other guys on the team doing it, you saw Donovan Wilson do it. You saw Gallimore, as big as he is, running from sideline to sideline, and your safety, admits that he doesn't want to do it. He wants to be the 70% guy. Yeah, he's out of here for me, man. I don't want him back. This is not the kind of players we want. The right kind of guy. If you want to bring that up again, he's not the right kind of guy that you want for a championship run. A playoff run. These are not the kinds of players you want on the team. So for me, even if you get him on a cheap deal, what's he gonna do?
He's toxic. Get him out of here. That's not winning culture.
Not winning culture, man. Yeah, I'm passing on Xavier Woods, guys. Let us know in the comments, guys. Appreciate everybody that's watching here as we're going through these free agents. Let us know what you guys think. We do see a lot of guys out here that don't like them. Should have been cut that day. Yeah, I agree. Take Jalen Woods, the 70% guy. Yep. Woods, Reggie Robinson. Yeah, that's true. You got Reggie Robinson out there now. He can compete there. So, yeah, we're seeing a lot of similar sentiment from the fan base as well. So, yeah, he just rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, man. Mm-hmm. Looking on to the next group here, we do have a running back who's set for free agency, but he is exclusive free agent, and that is Shewo Olanelua, the tongue twister of tongue twisters. All right, the TCU running back / fullback. They did elevate him for the last week or two, Mike. I think we saw him on special teams.
Last week. The last 2 weeks.
He looked the part. I mean, he looked like a big running back. He does look like a fullback to me. And, I think this is a guy that they'll bring back, a camp body, see what he can do, see if Mike McCarthy can find himself a true fullback. They decided to skip going with the fullback this season and going with the halfback, with Schultz, Blake Bell, and the tight ends. But if Shewo can show something in the offseason and training camp, maybe he can earn a legitimate fullback position here. So what's your thoughts on Shewo, the fullback, Mike?
Hey, yeah, on Shewo, he knows where he was at, right? You got Zeke, you got TP, and there's Shewo, and his opportunity is on special teams. And I thought he really made some good plays on special teams. He tackled, he looked a par, as you were saying. He was in there for a couple of snaps, but I really think that this guy deserves another chance, becoming Bones Fossil's little secret weapon, because I see the potential, and he did make some plays. Yeah,
so that sounds like an endorsement there for the running back. So guys, let us know in the comments. Do you want him back here in the mix? I think exclusive free agent, camp body. They'll bring him back on the cheap. I'm pretty sure. Here we go, guys. The biggest one of the entire NFL and the Cowboys, and we're talking about no one other than Dak Prescott, Mike. Unrestricted free agent, unless they tag him, it will be $37.7, basically $38 million if you want to tag him this season. So, Mike, keep or walk? What do you want to do with Dak?
It's so hard because you can't build a draft board without knowing what they're going to do with Dak Prescott. 1-3, he got hurt. We just talked about how god-awful that defense was at the start of the show. Joe, I'm gonna say franchise tag him again.
Okay. Yeah, franchise tag. I want to sign him long term, because for me, if you franchise tag him at that price tag, you're gonna kind of limit your options in free agency, and I feel that the Cowboys need to get away from waiting to the 4th and 5th week of free agency. I want to see us be busy the 1st and 2nd week. Get me somebody. It's you need another game-changing player on defense. I want to see the money be spent on defense. So give me a long-term deal. I know his camp wants 4 years, Mike. Stephen Jones has continuously to say that they want a long-term 5 to 7 year deal. But, you know, the last quarterbacks that have been signing these extensions have all had 4-year deals. You know what I mean? So Dak Prescott is doing what the market, is doing for the other guys. So I don't blame him for wanting the 4-year deal. You know what I mean? And for the Cowboys to push for longer, I get it. But at the same time, you kind of protect yourself. If you're on a 4-year deal and let's say things don't work out with him and Mike McCarthy and, maybe they have to blow this whole thing up again, at least you don't get tied for like a long term, like, okay, we're stuck with this guy. You know what I mean? You don't want to be here suffering longer than you need to. But I don't think that'll be the case for Dak Prescott. He's a pretty good quarterback, in my opinion. So for me, I want the long-term deal. They have the franchise tag in their pocket. Let's see what they do there. But he will be here, whether it's the franchise tag or long-term deal. I think we can both agree on that, Mike, right?
Oh yeah. And if they give him the long-term deal, we got to suck it up and deal with it. But the Cowboy Nation gets, pro Dak, anti Dak, but you got to meet in the middle somewhere, and you got to talk about Dak's flaws. But you can also talk about some of the good throws he's made. The leadership. I'm all about consistent gameplay. If we were to have a debate, I would talk about consistent gameplay. There was games where we couldn't score touchdowns as Dak Prescott as a starting quarterback. And there's other games where Dak lit it up. He has to be consistent. If he wants the bag, he has to be consistent.
Yeah. Seeing a lot here that want Dak Prescott. I haven't seen anybody here that doesn't want Dak Prescott. I think we all kind of got confirmation on this year on if you don't have a quarterback, you're in big trouble. And for a little bit, you would see some fans that said, "Oh, we don't need him. Andy Dalton's doing it." Well, you saw what he did. Andy Dalton failed miserably under pressure. He is not the answer.
I'll give you some history real quick, though, Joe.
Yeah.
There's 2 quarterbacks in NFL history that's been franchise tagged. Drew Brees was one of them with the Chargers. The very next year, he signed with the Saints. Kirk Cousins, franchise tagged in Washington. Twice, he went to Minnesota. Once a quarterback, history shows, Joe, once a quarterback is franchise tagged, they do not return with their team.
Yeah, it's interesting. There is something to be said about that. So historically, excuse me. So yeah, man, good point there, Mike. We'll see what they do there. I think Dak Prescott has all the leverage in this one. So we'll
does
see.
He though? What leverage does he have?
The leverage is who do you replace him with? Do you want to lean on somebody like Andy Dalton? I don't. Do you want a rookie quarterback? From what I saw, this season, the whole gamut of the playoff games and everything, I'm not quite sold on these rookies that I was earlier in the season. You know what I mean? So it's a risky thing, man. It's a risky thing, and quarterback is the most premier position on the team. You know what I mean? You see teams willing to trade a king's ransom to get a quarterback like a Trubisky. It doesn't work out, or these types of quarterbacks. So it's hard finding a quarterback in this league. Very tough.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go on to the next player, guys. Andy Dalton, the other quarterback, 33 years old, unrestricted free agent. Do you want to bring him on a 1-year deal to back up Dak Prescott? Does he want to come back and be the backup? Or are you okay with Garrett Gilbert and continuing to develop Ben DiNucci? What do you want to do there with Andy Dalton, Mike?
DiNucci Dookie. No, that guy can stay on the practice squad. But with Andy Dalton, dude, the Cincinnati Bengal fans were absolutely right about Andy Dalton. The guy crumbles under pressure. This guy couldn't throw a football yesterday if God told him to do it. The guy looked so off, and the Cincinnati Beagle fans were absolutely right. Andy Dalton, dare I say, could be the next Tony Romo. Heck, for all I know, he chokes under pressure. I don't know. He'll be a Patriot, but I think he built up a good resume to lean on for some leverage for other teams that focus on the second half of his career. But my God, were the Cincinnati Beagle fans right?
They were right. It wasn't even surprising to me. His playoff record was not good. He threw a lot of interceptions when he did make playoff appearances. So when I was watching this game, versus the Giants, it was a high pressure. They had to get this win. So he felt the pressure, and you saw it. His passes were off the whole game. They were overthrown, underthrown, coming out of his hand, kind of goofy. Throwing up some lame duck passes. I mean, to end the game with that pass when you had another down to go, he played very, very bad. And that game, you saw the pressure get to him. And, he can win you a couple of games in a pinch. But, I'm good with letting him walk. Gary Gilbert, I think he looked okay. And, there'll be some other quarterbacks that'll be out there available. So, Andy Dalton, I think you can let him do his search. I'm sure he'll want to sign somewhere. You said the Patriots. I think that's a good one there. Patriots would seem like a good pick for him. That program, they're going to draft somebody. Patriots, they're not going to go anywhere until they find another quarterback. So that makes a lot of sense, Mike. I do agree with you big time there, man.
Before we go on to the next free agent, guys, we're at 29 likes. Can we get to 35? Let's get us to 35 likes. Joe, go ahead. Take it away.
Yes, sir. Get those likes up, baby. Hit that like button. Pound it. Pound it. Pound it. Let's see what we got here. Sean Lee, guys. This is the next one here. We're looking at linebackers. 35 years old, unrestricted free agent. Says he loves the game, wants to continue playing, but he's going to talk it over with his family. You know the whole deal. These guys say the same thing every year, whether it's him or Jason Witten. But you got to feel that this is actually probably it, though, right? Do you see the Cowboys signing him for another one-year deal?
They could. They could because you got Justin March leaving. Is he on this list? Yeah, you got Justin March, Joe Thomas on this list. The real quote-unquote linebackers, right? I see him coming back for one more year. Maybe they draft somebody. They use Sean Lee to mentor. What saved him to play as much as he played was he missed, a quarter of the season, almost 6 weeks of the season. So, that's what Sean Lee's going to bring you for your football team, for your locker room. But I think he has one more year left. Now, will they sign him? I don't know that. But I'm okay if he retires too.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they have a lot of linebackers leaving. Who do they want to bring back? None of these guys. They probably will give another one-year deal to one of these players. Maybe Joe Thomas. Could be Sean Lee. He could be in the picture. But you definitely are going to have to, if you're not going to re-sign these guys, Sean Lee or Joe Thomas or Justin March, you're going to have to probably sign somebody that gets available as well. So you're either going to keep who you have, or you're going to go grab somebody else, or you're going to draft. So, and Mike, linebacker position, this is something the Cowboys need to really address because, a lot of people don't like the linebackers that we have right now. You see a lot of fans talking about, give me Micah Parsons, give me Nick Bolton, and for good reason. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. These guys just don't look the part. So for me, for Sean Lee, I would prefer him to just hang it up. The Cowboys obviously want to keep him around, bring him up the coaching ranks, and maybe in 3 or 4 years, that's Kellen Moore's defensive coordinator. You know what I'm saying? So, man, we'll see. We'll see what happens there.
No, but see, if you've been following the Frisco report, I think we started this show back in August of 2019. Going into this past offseason, we talked about this linebacker core. We didn't know how LVE was going to come out, and what, he broke his collarbone that same week.
Yeah.
Jalen Smith, he didn't get hurt, but golly, did he look hurt? He was high stepping when he was running. It messed up he was taking bad angles because it's like he couldn't break.
Yeah. It's true. It's true.
We talked about this linebacker core going into this offseason, and before the draft, they signed Justin March, Sean Lee, and Joe Thomas, I think all in the same week. And we're like, okay, we can breathe. We got some linebacker depth, because for a while we didn't have anything. And you were hoping Francis Bernard could catch on, and maybe with the full offseason he could actually show what he's about. But at the end of the day, dude, this linebacker core needs help. It needs help, and it needs help fast. If not, it ain't going to be good for our corners. It ain't going to be good for Donovan Wilson, who's coming up, making plays. Dang sure ain't going to be good for Randy Gregory, DeMarcus Lawrence, these guys, because they ain't going to be able to stop a fly from going on their food.
Yeah, no, it's true, man. I don't think they'll let all these guys go. I think we might keep one of these guys, whether it's Sean Lee, Justin March, or Joe Tom, because we do have Francis Bernard. And I have a feeling that they're going to give Francis Bernard the Donovan Wilson treatment. They're slowly bringing this guy along. They're going to keep him around. They protected him from getting plucked off the practice squad the first couple of weeks during the season. They kept protecting him. So they do see something in Francis Bernard. And then they finally did elevate him, and he was a special teams guy, almost a special teams ace. You always saw him around the ball. So you want to see that. You want to see that tenacity. So you probably see one of these guys come back. We'll see who it is. I really couldn't even say who it would be. For me, you probably want to go young Joe Thomas. Probably you may want to bring him back, or Justin March. But Sean Lee, I think he's got to hang it up and get into the coaching, and get your feet wet and see what you can do there.
Mm-hmm.
Here's another interesting one here, Mike. The next one on the list here, they have him as an outside linebacker, but he is a defensive end for the Cowboys. Aldon Smith, Mike, the feel-good story of the offseason. We got him on April Fool's. April 1st is when we signed him, when the news broke. And was it April Fool's? It kind of felt like it was, but Cowboys rolled the dice. They brought him in. Did he do enough to get another deal here from the Cowboys, Mike?
It's so funny you say that, because the Cowboys signed and got out of retirement Rolando McClain on April Fool's too, if you remember that. But Aldon Smith, man, I think the bow got tied, whipped cream cherry on top, when he picked up the fumble and ran it for a touchdown. He started off hot. Maybe that was the hungry in him. But after that, he ghosted us. He ghosted us fans, and he just wasn't there. Maybe another team picks him up, but I don't think that impact player. How old is he? 31. I don't think that impact player that we all know and love when he was wearing a 49ers uniform is there anymore. Could be age, could be 5 years off, but there's a thing called muscle memory, and I really truly believe in muscle memory. And it just looked like Aldon Smith is just, his body's just done from physical sports. He just went ghost. So I'm happy if he moves on.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think the Cowboys will give him another 1-year deal, only because he's got that relationship with Jim Tomsula. And, I think a full offseason with the Cowboys, that should help. That should help out the cause for him. But, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they let him walk as well. You know what I mean? Like you mentioned it. He started out hot. He kind of went cold and really disappeared for the second half of the season, and became almost a non-factor in a lot of the games. So it'll be interesting to see. You are going to need some bodies in here. Do they want to bring him in here as a camp body type player? Where's Bradley and Knight in his progression? Cowboys never elevated him. I think he played one game versus the Giants, and after that, deactivated the rest of the year. So we need to find out what is the deal there. So they may keep him, they may not. What do you guys think? Everybody in the comments, chat box, let us know. Aldon Smith, do you want him back? Do you think the Cowboys will bring him back on a 1-year deal? Let us know here in the chat box what you guys think about Aldon Smith.
Mm.
Yeah, Aldon Smith at DT. Yeah. He did play some on the inside. And he could be this. Aldon Smith could be Tyron Crawford's replacement if you think about it, because Tyron Crawford, he's done. You and I called this a long time ago, Mike. Those hips, they did those hips. That's why when we talk about Lyle Collin in the hip, that is a serious thing. You saw Tyron Crawford just look like an old man out there. Those hips, you got to have them. You got to have those hips, man. And he looked bad. So I think with his retirement, they're saying that Tyron Crawford might consider retirement. He's already finished his contract. So, the Cowboys would have to re-sign him if they didn't. I think Aldon Smith would be a good replacement because he can play on the outside and on the inside. The Cowboys, they love to have that player. So I think that's how they can find a place for Aldon Smith if they want to, or, they move on and find somebody else. So keep that in mind, everybody. Justin March, we kind of hit on that. LP, the long snapper, the sole remaining Parcell guy. LP, what do you want to do? Does he stay? I think they just love this guy. I think he comes back. 40 years old.
40 years old, man. I don't know. He has the most NFL snaps as a Canadian in NFL history. It's just crazy how all he has to do is snap the ball, and his salary was $1.1 million. Snapping the ball.
That's nice.
Who knows? He might just be in it for the money. Maybe he comes back. But if he retires, I totally understand.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think they love him. He's still doing it at a high level. We've never seen any major gaffes from him in the games. No crazy misfires that I can remember over his career. I'm sure he's had one or two, but pretty solid, man. Pretty solid. I think they give him another deal. They're just gonna ride that thing out until he says he's done. I think that's what's gonna happen there.
Yeah.
Let's go on to the next one. Joe Thomas, who kind of hit on that, Mike. That's those three linebackers. They're gonna have to keep one of these guys, I think. The defensive tackle, Eli Ankou. How do you say that one? That's that one. I'm not too sure.
We traded him from the Titans, which I'm surprised we don't have any exclusive rights, but he will be an undrafted free agent. We just didn't see much of him. We seen him play one game. The Cowboys looked like they didn't like it because they deactivated him, and I don't think he's seen much. They played Justin Hamilton more, Miguel Gallimore more. So maybe if Jim Tomsula is back with this team, maybe they'll keep him and try to develop him. But he ain't going to be the next David Irvin.
Yeah. And that is a great point, Mike, if Jim Tomsula comes back, because if they do make some kind of major change to this defensive staff, if it's a defensive coordinator, you have to think that the guy wants to bring in his own people, right? So that is going to really influence a lot of these guys, so especially defensively. So that's a great point there, Mike. So for him, maybe they bring him back, camp body type of guy. We'll see on that one. Antoine Woods, everybody. 28 years old. He's a restricted free agent. So, but it really doesn't mean anything because he was undrafted. So, you really wouldn't get any compensation if somebody took him from you unless you tag him with like a second round tender, which would be really high for Antoine Woods. So he could get plucked away.
In the words of Marshawn Lynch, money's called chicken, right? So that would be a chicken tender.
That would be a chicken tender. Yeah, you're right. So somebody could pluck him off, and the Cowboys would probably – I don't think that they would, match the offer. But, the Cowboys will make him a deal. Will he sign it? We'll see. What do you want to do with Antoine Woods, Mike? Keep or let him walk?
I got to be honest with you. How PO'd I am at Xavier Woods. Antoine Woods actually stepped up and played. He signed that tender really, really, really late in the offseason, if you guys remember. Yeah. I think he signed it the day before training camp. I think he was mad that they did tender him, unrestricted tender him or whatever it's called. They gave him that little chicken tender. But I thought he played. I thought he played okay. If he was mad about making $525,000, I'd be mad too, and I'll be mad for him because I thought he stepped up to the plate and did some good things for us.
Yeah, I have to agree. 100%. I really I really wasn't too sure what we were going to see from him this year because it seemed like there was some kind of I wouldn't say he was disgruntled or anything, but yeah, he did sign that at the 25th hour. So it was almost like he was trying to, see if somebody would pick him up or whatever. He was there, and I knew you and I talked about this whenever McCarthy got introduced. He was there at the press conference with the Hot Boys gear and everything, and you and I were kind of like, come on.
Why is he wearing the Hot Boys hat meeting his new coach?
Yeah. So yeah, that was kind of funny back in the season. But Antoine Woods, I don't know, man. He runs too hot and cold for me. But you are losing some other players if you need somebody to hold it down at least to see what you get in a rookie. I think the Cowboys are going to draft somebody. Yeah, they might even pick up another defensive tackle in free agency. So I'm fine with either. Keep him or let him walk. I'm fine with either. What do you guys think? Woods, let's see here. Give him $1.5 million. The lunatic Woods was probably playing for contracts. A good chance he's gone. That's true too. You do have to be wary of those guys that are contract players. I always go back to Anthony Spencer as being one of these kinds of guys. Anthony Spencer would only show up in contract years. He would get injured and just rake in the money. I mean, there's always those types of players out there, right? So, yeah, you do kind of have to watch out for some of that. Let's see what else we got here. Also becoming injury prone. Yeah, he does miss some games. Marinelli. Yeah, who's that? The lunatic. Yeah, he's still there with the Raiders for right now. We'll see if Gruden makes a change there. Let's see what else we got here, guys. All right. Do appreciate everybody that has joined us live, checking out the free agency discussion here. Let's go on to the next one. Yeah, go ahead, Mike. What were you going to say?
No, we got 52 likes. Joe, we're at 111 viewers. Can we get to 55 likes, Joe? Can we get to 55? We're at 52. We just need 3.
Yeah, guys, if you're catching this live and you're liking the content here for today's discussion, Cowboys 2021 free agency, hit like on this video, guys. It does help us out a whole bunch here. The next one here, Mike, Tyron Crawford. We kind of touched on this earlier. He is an unrestricted free agent, 31 years old. Rumors that he's going to retire. Do we even need to ask this question? But
Nah. I gotta stop for copyright.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Yeah, I think the writing's on the wall. Crawford, he's done. Another one of these guys, one of the Boise guy. Cowboys, they went on that string where they're bringing in a bunch of Boise players. Tyron Crawford was one of those guys. Brought him in as a defensive end. They wanted to convert him to a defensive tackle to get ahead of the defensive tackle market. Didn't work out. And, he got his money, though. Pretty crafty.
Marinelli is now the defensive coordinator for the Raiders.
Yeah. Yeah, they got rid of who was it?
That one dude.
Who it was. The one older guy. They're all old. One older guy. Let's go on to the next one. Rondell Carter, exclusive rights free agent.
Ugh.
Cowboys, like this guy a whole lot. They lost him to the Colts. He became available. They brought him back.
That's that guy.
Rondell Carter, Mike.
Camp body.
Camp body. That's what I think. They'll bring him back, and he'll be part of training camp. He'll compete.
He made more money than Antoine Woods.
Yeah.
Ain't that crazy? I don't even know who this guy is, and he made more money than Woods.
Yeah, Rondell Carter. I think he played with. I think he actually played with DiNucci. I think this was his teammate, if I remember correctly. I think he's from James Madison as well. I could be wrong. Guys, let me know. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You're never wrong, so I'm gonna take your word for
it. Nah, I'm wrong sometimes. See what we got here, guys. Crawford, do you want him back? We got some people that don't care.
No.
Crawford. Yeah, there we go. The Lunatic. He confirmed it for me. Thank you, buddy. Do appreciate you there. The Lunatic in for the save. Confirmation. Let's go on to the next one here. Who are we looking at? We are on Cheeto Awuzie. Mike, this is another big one here. We're talking about the 2017 draft class. Cheeto Awuzie, 26 years old, unrestricted free agent. Resign or let him walk. Cheeto Awuzie.
Man. God, it's thick, right? They signed Anthony Brown to a 3-year deal last offseason, right?
Yeah, so you got him.
Jordan Lewis, is he on this list? We'll talk about both.
Yeah.
Jordan Lewis lost a dog. The guy is causing his team 15 yards on a freaking third down and is laughing about it, right? Xavier Woods, dude, Jordan Lewis had so much promise, dude, and I don't know what happened to him. The guy just fell off. I will take Cheeto Bay over Jordan Lewis.
Yeah. This is going to be really, really interesting to see where they go with these three guys. I really don't see them keeping more than one of them. So we're talking about X Woods, Cheeto Bay Awuzie, or Jordan Lewis. And, you got to protect yourself. So do they want to give him – I think you can get Cheeto on a relatively good deal. I don't think he's going to get a big paycheck by any means. He may want to test free agency. And the Cowboys are definitely not going to franchise tag him because he's not worth that money either.
Right.
Jordan Lewis just isn't. He just does some stupid penalties at the wrong time.
He did a lot of penalties.
Yeah.
Jordan Lewis got called for a lot of PI, a lot of holding, unsportsmanlike conduct. I mean, Jordan Lewis, where is that dog? He needs to spend time this offseason, and he needs to put up signs, lost puppy, because this guy was exactly that, a lost puppy.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do with Cheeto. Do you want to bring him back? Do you bring him back, but then you end up drafting a cornerback? And then if that's the case, you have a good – yeah, that's fine with me. You have a good backup. You have somebody that you can – if you want to play with the safety – transitioning. I know a lot of people are trying to make him a safety. Last offseason, they were trying to make all the cornerbacks a safety. But that'll be interesting. For me, of those three guys, Xavier Woods, Cheeto, and Jordan Lewis, I would bring back Cheeto if you can get him at a reasonable price. The other guys,
agreed.
I'll let them walk. CJ Goodwin, Mike, the next one here, 31 years old. Do you want to bring him back? This is a special teams guy, and pretty impressive how they used him as a spy against what's his name over there? That game that we play. Oh my God, I'm already forgetting this game. So it was so forgettable. But CJ,
Lamar Jackson spy, was that it?
Lamar Jackson.
Is that the game you're talking about? The Ravens game?
I don't even remember.
I don't remember either. But I like the way he adapted to Bones Fossil, dude. The guy's a playmaking, special teams playmaker. And bring him back.
Yeah.
I mean, it ain't going to cost you much. Bring him back.
Yeah. I'm on board with that as well. Bring back CJ Goodwin. Yeah, it was the Eagles game. It was the Eagles. Hurt spy. That's it. That's who it was. And that was just 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Oh, really?
I think he did. Yeah, he did a great job on that. He did a great job spying on him. So I like him. Special teams ace. You definitely need those special teams players on your team. So, yeah, bring him back. 1-year deal. Can't body, but he gives you depth as well. So I like that. We hit on Jordan Lewis already. We'll finish it out here with the big boy, Joe Looney, Mike. Do you want to bring him back or do you let him walk? Joe Looney, the center.
Bring him back, man. I mean, he's almost like Sean Lee with these 1-year deals. But I just like his attitude, man. Like the guy knows how to joke, but be serious on the football field, man. He got hurt. Tyler Beatis went in there. Tyler got hurt. Joe Looney came back, held the job, and I like Joe Looney, man. I just like him. He's a funny guy, and he's good depth for this team for center and guard if you need him there.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do there. Joe Looney, I wouldn't mind bringing him back. At the same time, I wouldn't cry over it.
I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't cry over it. I'd miss him though.
Yeah, he's definitely a locker room presence for sure, no doubt. He does give you some, depth at guard as well. So, but the Cowboys, they do have some future contracts with Adam Redmond, Marcus Henry. I like how Marcus Henry actually looked in camp and some of the time that he got in there. I actually thought he was going to make the team, but he's on a futures contract along with Adam Redmond, which I'm not a big fan of Redmond, but Tyler Biadasz, he's definitely going to start for you. He's your number one center. You got to have somebody backing him up that's good. So we'll see, man. Joe Looney, how much will he want? He made a pretty good chunk of change this year, but he got a whole lot of playing time, so he earned every bit of that coin this year.
Yeah, and we still got that guy from Mexico that can play left tackle too. We'll see how he develops.
Indeed. They did bring him on there as a futures contract as well. But guys, do you want to bring back Joe Looney, or do you want to let him walk? Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the chat box. But that's it, everybody, for the free agents for the Cowboys. We hit them up. They do have quite a bit here. You have to think that they're going to keep some of these. They're not going to let all of these guys walk out. So, I think we did a good job, Mike, on hitting these up.
I think we did.
Yeah.
Before you talk draft, you got to talk free agents, Joe.
Yeah, you got to hit on it just to refresh
Isaac
everybody.
Elakon. That's who it is.
Yeah, that's where we're at, guys.
Thank you, Trujillo.
There we go. Bring back Joe Looney. Keep Joe. Yeah. We got a lot of people here that do want him. Jalen Smith, they do want him out, but he's not a free agent. That would be more of a straight up cut. You know what I mean? So, that's for another discussion. But that's where we're at, free agents. We will hit this again hard when we get closer to March. But we just wanted to, get these names out there for you guys to let you know who's a free agent for the Cowboys. We just went over the list. Pretty in-depth conversation. Appreciate everybody that commented and gave your input on who you wanted to bring back and who you are good with letting walk. So great conversation there, Mike.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. And while we hit that thing in March, I need you guys to hit that thing to 78 likes. That's 4 likes. Can y'all do it?
4 likes, guys. Let's get that to 78. Let's get that to 78, guys. We can hit that on our way out because I think that's a wrap for this show. So please, guys, hit like on this video on your way out. Like, subscribe, and share. Hit the bell notification so you get these notifications when the channel goes live and when the Frisco report goes live. We do appreciate everybody's input. Mike, another great show. We have a lot of great content coming for you guys. We're going to be doing mock drafts with you guys. We're going to be talking about the Senior Bowl. We're going to hit up those guys here over the next couple of weeks, who the Cowboys are looking at. And we'll break it down here in the Frisco report with Mike and myself. Mike, let everybody know where they can find you if they haven't already.
Thank you guys for watching. Couldn't do it without you. Couldn't do it without Joe, the best host, the best guy I've ever known. Guys, authentic, off and on that camera, guys. I'm just a real privilege to work with them, and he's got me better at this draft talk. So hopefully, Cowboys Corner comes back with that talk. But anyway, Joe has it right here at _Cowboys Corner right there on Twitter, guys. Cowboys Corner right here on YouTube, guys. Do as you please. If you want to subscribe, but that's where you can find me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's it for tonight's show, guys. We do appreciate you again. Hit like on the way out, and we'll catch you next week for the next episode. Peace, everybody.